The prediction for this year has told us that in Edo State, two major local governments will be highly affected by flood. First of all, NEMA is not a response agency. That is one erroneous view people are having.
Okay, it's not a response
agency. Yes, we're a coordinating body. The other day I was driving through Hammer, one heavy rainfall. With my hillocks, I was feeling come down, driving hillocks. Before I knew the thing reached and moved some part of the
that annually there are also timely warnings and timely recommendations on mitigative measures that can help to mitigate against flooding where it cannot be totally prevented. So it's the best place to start our conversation this morning. Ojuedeire, let's get talking.
Okay. So like you said, every year we get early warning. Like this year now, on the 10th of February this year, the Nigerian Meteorological Service Agency gave us their seasonal climate prediction. This led to NEMA having a 2-day expert technical committee meeting on March 31st and April 1st. The aim of this meeting was to look at the implication of the seasonal climate prediction on the populace. Now, we did stop there because when we get this early warning, there's a need to get this early warning down to the grassroots that are affected. So apart from the first part is doing the national programs.
Okay.
Then we go to every state. Teams were sent to the 6 geopolitical zones to ensure that this early warning message gets down to the grassroots. The theme of this year's campaign, National Preparedness Response Campaign, is strengthening disaster risk governance for resilience. What does this mean? We're trying to move away from being reactive to being proactive, getting the knowledge and information down to the grassroots. So like just last week in Edo State, we did the National Preparedness Response Campaign for Edo State. We had the technical session in Benin City. Then the next day we went to a community in Ovia Southeast. Now the prediction for this year has told us that in Edo State, two major local governments will be highly affected by flood.
And those local governments are?
Esako Central and Esako East. Highly affected by flood. Communities like Anagbete.
Do we have history of severe flooding in those places?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Another area we always had history of severe flooding is Esa Southeast. This year they are saying it will be moderately flooded. You know, this is a prediction. So we are also supposed to be prepared to go to that Esa Southeast as well, at places like Ilushi, and give them this information that yes, flood will likely come to them. So right now we know the areas. We have a flood risk map. I wish I will share it with you when I can.
But from what you have said so far, it seems that Edo South is not part of those areas predicted to that might likely have a severe flooding this
year. They are saying moderately flooded, yes.
Okay. Now, you see, what I find a bit concerning is that every year we are at it again. We have these predictions. And while I was talking about the mandate of NEMA, it's to look at natural disasters and man-made. And you see, when it comes to flooding, there are elements of man-made. Just that it's also natural. But again, every year we come up with recommendations, we come up with recommended mitigative measures. But every year we still come back to it. So, and you mentioned something about national response. Now, I'll ask you directly, is it that our response or our response capacity or our response mechanism or system has not been robust enough? Maybe some places now that historically have always been in the warning, maybe we should have done something enough in terms of robust response where it does not become an annual risk factor in those places.
Like I was saying, what we are doing this year is from lessons learned from last year. One of our
but NEMA operations didn't start last year.
No.
Okay, let's go on.
It has been going on for years there. We are trying to our focus now is to strengthen local capacity. That's our focus now, to strengthen local capacity. And what we are part of things we are doing this year is that when we went to the communities, we spoke to the community leaders, we gathered the farmers, we tried to tell them the early warning signs that they will expect, how can they help themselves before external help comes. how they can, what kind of evacuation plans should they have? They should have knowledge of first aid. We train them first aid and how to help themselves. And if they are going to evacuate, the procedure for evacuation and where they should be evacuated to. So the goal is to strengthen the capacity. Like we said, the old idea is about building resilience of the community. So if we are resilient, we can withstand the floodings when they come.
But all of this still come under disaster management.
Yes.
That it will happen.
Yes.
But when it happens, this is how we manage it to reduce the devastating effect of it. But you said we are moving, maybe a paradigm shift from being reactive to proactive. Now, what are proactive measures to even make sure that in some places, maybe there are measures that can be taken and perhaps flooding will become history? In that place, it doesn't have to be a recurring decimal every year. Annually, we are scampering for safety. We are trying to respond. We'll come to the issue of relief materials later, and that is where I'll speak with Joseph. Now, I want you to respond to this.
Okay. When we talk about disaster risk reduction, we have structural disaster risk reduction and non-structural disaster risk reduction. Okay. Like part of the structural disaster risk reduction we talk about is, for example, which is capital intensive, it will be to dredge our rivers. Our rivers need to be desilted. That's one of the major things. Another one, we could build embankments or dikes in communities that are going to be affected, that every year they are affected by flood.
But have this been recommended to the appropriate authorities that let us do dredging of our rivers, let us do embankment, and maybe they are also told that this will be the immediate and long-term benefits of doing this, so that this teaching time can save it for the nine.
Yes. We have made this recommendation. We have written a recommendation to government. And I'm also talking about non-structural. Non-structural means putting policies in place, land use policies in place. For example, don't build in floodplains. But for economic reasons, we see our people building in floodplains. So we can get laws into place to ensure that people don't build and expose themselves to the risk of flood.
I think we may have the laws, because a lot of people argue that in Nigeria, where things go wrong, is not for shortage of laws or for absence of relevant laws. But I think it has to do with enforcement. Perhaps that is the tragedy of the human society, especially in our own society, the ability to enforce the law, since people seem to not willing to naturally obey the laws. And that is where enforcement comes in. But it also seems that most of the times we don't have the political will to enforce.
For us at NEMA, for example, one of the challenges we have had over the years is we don't have the power of enforcement.
Okay, the power of enforcement does not
reside with NEMA. We can talk. There was a couple of years ago, it was in Bayelsa that we had early warning that Cameroon had released water, and this community is going to be flooded. When we got to the community, we spoke to the elders, and they said this is their ancestral home. Their forefathers have stayed here. Their shrines are here. They are not going to move. So we moved those who wanted to be moved. An hour or so later, we were called back. Now these people were now on their rooftops.
Just an hour later.
An hour later, they were on their rooftops, and they were now asking for help. So you see, our people have that, how will I say it, cultural belief. This is our land, our forefathers have stayed here, you cannot move us. That's one of the problems we face every year, even when we give them early warning that floods are coming.
All right, thank you very much, Ojuedeire. I mean, it's really been nice listening to you this morning. In case you're just joining us, it's what Honourable has to say, and in case you sense that it's not what you're expecting on a Friday, sometimes we do some little alteration, but it's a very interesting conversation we're having this morning. Now, let me come to Joseph. He's the Chief Relief and Redistribution Official of NEMA.
Rehabilitation.
Oh, rehabilitation. Okay, rehabilitation. Okay, now, people talk about relief now. That most of the times when things happen, it seems Nigeria has a uniform response in terms of relief. Rice.
Rice solution.
Whether it is a fire incident, whether it is building that has collapsed, whether it is a flood, when NEMA will show up, you are certain that there will be some bags of rice, maybe some Indomie noodles, packs of Indomie. And so let's look at the issue of relief and rehabilitation before. I think Israel has some questions for Ojuedeire, but after you.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. NEMA statutory functions, just like by boss said here is to coordinate disaster management across the country. Relief is part of this disaster management. We give support to people who have been affected by this disaster. He said that we are trying to move from reactive to proactive measure by introducing this, so that at a time the people resilience will be built, not necessarily giving relief materials to the people. We will gradually, NEMA will move away from this relief issue because a house has collapsed, fire has destroyed homes, and you get a relief item. It's just a so-called to help those people that have been affected. Yes.
Okay, Israel. I can
No,
see
well,
you are angry.
let me ask. I'm interested in what level of synergy exists between first responders generally and all those critical stakeholders in Edo State. Who are the people to look out for? If there's a building collapse, there's a fire disaster, flooding somewhere, where is the level of interception among agencies in Edo State?
Okay, I can say that in Edo State, we try to have good synergy. We have a platform, actually have a platform that has emergency response platform, Edo State, that has every stakeholder in that platform. So always expected that if there's any disaster of any kind, the information will get to that platform. But unfortunately, sometimes it's not like that. But for example, like you talk, if fire, the building collapse, the first responding agency is the Federal Fire Service or the State Fire Service. They are the lead agency when it comes to building collapse, fire, even flooding. We have a document, the National Epidemic Evacuation Search and Rescue Plan, that details out specifically about 9 different hazards that could occur in the country, from train derailment, plane crash, fire, flood, and the likes, pandemics and all that. And it tells you who is the lead agency and who should support. So this brings about proper coordination in terms of disaster. But when we don't get to the scene and start battling about who should take the lead. So this document is there, and all our stakeholders are aware. So we're trying to build on that synergy. Like recently, there are some incidents that happened in Edo State, and it was not put on the platform. I was not getting to know that in Ego, was it yesterday, there was a high tension that led to fire. We did not get to know. It was later in the day that the Executive Secretary SEMA placed it on the platform and said he does getting to hear about this hours later. So there's a lot we need to do to improve the synergy and coordination in disaster management in Edo State. I tell you, last year, 17th of December, there was a tanker fire explosion in Auchi. The response was very poor. In the whole of Esako, Central Esako East, there is no single fire station. That shows how far response is from the people. We started trying to reach out to the military in Auchi, to Boa and Dangote if they have fire trucks, so they can assist us. And these are the things we ought to have done before preparedness plans. Before the thing occurs, you reach out to stakeholders, you know who has what and where it is. Have an MOU with them. If we had done that, we know that, there's no fire station in this area. If we had had that MOU with Boa, they just place a call and they release their truck.
But Ojuedeire,
but even at that,
now what we are talking about now, my growing concern is that this is infrastructure deficit for a response. And it should now lead me to ask, is it that, in all honesty, that NEMA is ill-equipped for response? Because you would think that maybe NEMA should also have its own equipment and should also be well spread out enough so that response capacity or response location will not be too far from locations of incidents. Even if you need to have synergy with some organization, I mean, in the society, we always say for everything to work fine, there must be a sense of synergy and collective responsibility. But there should be some basics, especially for the organization that is charged with these all important responsibilities.
Yes, like we have said, first of all, NEMA is not a response agency. That is one erroneous view people are having.
Okay, it's not a response
agency, yes. We're a coordinating body.
Okay.
We coordinate response in the country. That doesn't mean that we don't have equipment. Like at the headquarters in the past, we have bought fire truck equipment, we have bought mobile intensive care ambulance and given to our stakeholders. we gave to the fire service, we gave to the road safety, we gave to the civil defense, MICU ambulances to aid their operations. So NEMA provides these resources sometimes to them. But we are, first and foremost, we are not a response agency. But at the same time, we still have some equipment to assist. Like in Benin Operations Office, we have a mobile intensive care ambulance. I think one of the only few in Edo State. Functional MICU, just one, and it's just one. So that's why.
And that one is located here in Edo South.
Yes.
So there is an immediate need for it in Edo North now.
And that's the infrastructural gap. What is the state government doing? Because you expect, you have Edo SEMA just the way you have NEMA.
Yes.
So what's the level at which the SEMA boss was here? Maybe you will be the one to answer that.
Yes.
But as a coordinator,
At least interagency
collaboration.
and
So what's the state government doing? Because people will ask, the state must take responsibility. You're a federal agency and you are pulling your weight. I don't know how much weight the state government is pulling.
But don't you think I might not be able to speak?
Well, as a coordinator, how much do you see? How much presence of Edo SEMA do you find?
Edo SEMA is doing their very best, as I'm sure. We're like Siamese twins. Because I can't work without the state emergency. I cannot come to Edo State and do anything without SEMA.
Okay.
So I'm aware that, for example, last year they did their risk mapping. They went to all the local governments to find out which are the areas that are at risk. So they have done something. They are trying to do something about establishing more IDP camps. Although I know there are handicaps. I think as of now, the SEMA doesn't have a legal law backing them. An act of parliament backing them, and that's the challenge. When that law is not there, there's a tendency that there are some things, funds, they require funds, they have to run to the government, and that provides a little bit of bottleneck in their response. They are doing their very best. I can't speak for the ESM. Okay. So he was supposed to be here, but he traveled.
Okay, to communities now, because I know this is a sensitization drive. To communities, what should be the participation, the roles of communities, so that when disaster happen, we can mitigate them, we can actually respond perfectly. What should communities do? What are the practices that are not encouraged that we need to discourage also?
Very, very quickly, we know that it's very popular in our communities. When there's heavy rainfall, almost every community, what they do, we have waste management problem in the country.
Okay.
People pile their waste, and when it's time for rainfall, the next thing to do is to throw it into the water, not knowing where the waste is going to be. And this leads to blockage of drains and leads to flash floods. Like we said, no floods are either natural or man-made. But in most cases in Edo State, they are probably man-made. People have built and blocked drainage channels. People shouldn't be building and blocking drainage channels. People shouldn't be dumping their refuse into drains, waterways. Even if you look at GRA, for example, I see it happening. I grew up in Edo State, in Benin City. In those days, GRA, you have houses that had lawns. Natural drainage happens. Natural lawns, when rain falls, it sinks into the ground. But now, almost all the houses in GRA are flawed. Either you have interlocking tiles or you have used cement to flood the whole place. So when water falls now, there's no water retention area, so it drains into the streets and will not have flows.
And so even structural designs
of buildings are now affecting flooding. The other day I was driving through the Hammer, one heavy rainfall, with my hillocks. I was feeling coming down, driving hillocks. Before I knew the thing reached and moved some part of the vehicle. I said, because nobody is thinking about the environment. How can we safeguard the environment? Everybody is doing his own thing.
Okay, in your communication with the relevant authorities and the stakeholders, have you also communicated these worries, these observations?
Yes.
That may help, so that we don't begin to have this conversation and running helter-skelter every year because it's rainy season. Because, like you have said, if it is largely man-made, can we just be robust enough to tackle those problems? I don't want to think that, because when it is made to look this way, the picture being painted is that it seems that in the face of the challenge, government is helpless. And it's unfortunate if government appears helpless in the face of any or every situation, because government is supposed to be able to respond to every situation and not being found helpless.
Yeah, like you said, the government has to have the will. political will to take action. There are agencies that are responsible for building, monitoring building, town planning,
and waste management.
And waste management, yes. So maybe they should have we should think of having a law by parliament that if you are building your house within your company, you have a water retention area.
And it should be inspected to be so.
To be so.
Because sometimes we have the laws, like I said.
It's
not for absence of the laws. Well, it's what the Honourable has to say this special edition on Friday, and we've been speaking with top officials of NEMA.
All right, be a part of the show this lovely Friday morning. 0705 512 9881 or 0705 572 7881 0705 512 9881 or 0705 572 7881 0902 672 2592. Hello.
Good morning, Paul.
Good morning to you.
Or should I say good morning, Paul, or Chodogo? I could borrow the word of the Honourable. Thank you very much. This is Sonny Redoza.
All right.
There is no doubt that your guest said that it's man-made. And I agree with him completely. I'm not going to make any comment. Let me draw your attention to the reason why I could make that assertion. 2 months ago, a woman called from one community inside Benin here that the moat community sold the moat to somebody. They not fulfilled it. That was during the last administration. And the woman wrote petition and all that. Nothing happened. That was because the person that did that is very powerful. And that administration could look away. So, surprisingly, the woman just saw that, came back and saw that they were not trying to push road through under her friend. Because they said they came with one white man, one of the construction companies. So neighbor now told her that they want to channel the water that because of that field of that mode, everywhere the water is everywhere is flooded, even to our compound. So the best option now was to that channel erosion from our gate outside. So that's what she now ran to one of your sister stations. They got my attention to it. When I saw the commercial and all that, I sent it to Eugene Okorofe. As I speak to right now, that job has been stopped. So I think that when government, somebody reports issue, government should do it, even though it's their political members. If that is not done, you will notice that one administration will come. Some people will be allowed to do some very stuff. When other administration will come, it will see that it is wrong. If we continue with that kind of mindset, we're not going to get it right. So I think that when you have this kind of issue, it doesn't matter any place you build or you try to destroy the waterway, that house must go. If you don't do that, other will take it to it. Good morning, God bless Nigeria.
All right, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, Mr. Obioma. Welcome.
Yeah. Yes, you see, whether it is NEMA, whether it is SEMA, whatever the appellation is, the acronym is, it's a political establishment and it has to be governed with policy. You see, they are not telling us the real truth behind the whole thing. They give us relief to do this, do that. When they bring 2, they say they bring 20. When they bring 1, they say they bring 30. That is for that area. Then in terms of fire disaster, where now it's a whispering distance to those fire service. But on 3 occasions we have a fire disaster here. When we run to them, even believing that we are very, very close to them, when you go there, they will talk of flat tire, they will talk of low battery, they will talk one excuse. Before the help will come, almost that building will just completely raise down. So that is another area where in other local government there are fire service stations but no apparatus. How do they fight fire? Then on flooding, government maybe may have a larger percentage of it. No destination where there are the refuse dump, at least evacuation steadily. Then where you want the people to dispose their refuse? If they don't see anywhere, then they start showing it anywhere they see. So if government can provide refuse bins everywhere in the greater places, people will not go and dump their refuse, then evacuators will come and evacuate. It's everywhere becomes clean. So that's my take on this subject. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gilman.
Hello. Hello. 090267222592. Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Paul and Honourable.
Good morning to you.
You like all those things we are talking about now. Government has already put all those things in place. The development department, that's why we have a bigger tonight over there. The issue is that they are not really doing the work. They are not, all those people that are protest, they always compromise. Some of them always compromise. That's how we see what we are saying today. Okay, for example, now, you say somebody want to build that in social play, you mark it. Before 2 weeks, you see that person building it because something already passed on. That is the correction we are facing in all sectors. There is no one that is managed. Okay, look at the power line now. In all those days now, they are going to build the power line. The people that are supposed to evacuate all those people now, at the end of the day, they will not go there again because of something already passed on. Look at those modes we are even talking about. Modes, everybody has been tracking for modes. That's why the governor is some of those people, set up people to monitor all those things. At the end of the day, we see the men where we are. Okay, so today, after today, we are not supposed to think that people are blocking modes. Because those people, they're supposed to be persecuted. Because they are not persecuted, other people still doing it. So that's the major problem we are facing in Nigeria. Okay, now, a drastic action will take place in those people that commit all those things. You see that people will be running away for them. You can say a community leader will just come, will just sign notes, and somebody will build that on it. So the people that put the chance to do the needful. That's just my contribution.
All right.
All right. One more then we'll return to the studio.
Hello. Hello. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes. Good morning. Welcome.
Yes, the voice of Honourable Man.
All right. Voice
Yes,
of
I just
Honourable.
want to comment on this. One of the problems that is causing this flooding we have, especially in the new year, is one, those community leaders, they do say it's not only most, even the roads. Most of these roads that were constructed within the streets, I'm talking about the streets now, they were very wide many years ago, about 30 years ago, very wide, more than 50 feet wide. Many of them you can see now, they can't even size two vehicles at the same time. They have sold it. That's number one. And number two, the government environmental sanitation that we were doing before, that we were very happy when it started it, but now we look as if they are not doing it again. Because I can remember last administration of Obaseki, me, myself, and even Mr. Sonny that was called not too long, we were shouting on radio, listening your sister station, that Edo State is become very dirty and flooded because of no environmental, because the last administration council environmental. When this one came, he started it, we were very happy because we have been shouting on radio and they listening to us. But now, for some time now, we are not doing it again. We don't say we need iron hand though. This is just see that environmental movement. Nobody will do. All of them will go back. Look at most of the gutters are being blocked. If you go to Amdo,
right.
Even some parts in the flower, they are covered with refuse. Nobody is doing environmental again. So we should continue with the environmental we are doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, on the issue of environmental, I think there are some legal issues over it. So for that reason, we can't really say this is the firm position of things over it for now. But for me, my take on the issue of environmental sanitation is that the issue of environmental sanitation is a daily issue. Yes. And people have to cultivate the right habit, the right attitude. Outside of this conversation, people have been watching the ongoing World Cup in the United States, Mexico, and Canada, and would describe the World Cup as a place, a melting pot of culture. Now, one of the biggest takeaway from me is what the Japanese are trying to teach the entire world. You see the Japanese fans, like other fans from different parts of the world, they come to the stadium, they don't just watch the match and go away. They pick every debris they can see from the stands and all that. While they are coming to the studio, they come with some trash bag and gather those things, and on their way out, they look at the designated places to drop those things. Then it doesn't start and end. There are players too. We've seen a few of them, Tomiyasu, Takehiro, and all that, on the pitch there. While the match is over and they are walking down to the tunnel into the dressing room, if they see any debris, they stop to pick it. Because it's a culture in Japan. You can't see dirt and remove your eye. Then they go to their dressing room. After the match, after they have left, their dressing room remains the neatest of all dressing rooms at the ongoing World Cup. So that one, no environmental sanitation there has been decreased at the World Cup. And it's not even their country. So no any Japanese policeman or environmental sanitation officer is looking to arrest them for not doing that. But it has become a culture in the people, and any part of the world they find themselves in, they go with that culture. Every Japanese is an ambassador of that culture. Can we also culturalize ourselves in this way? And now, Israel, we are back in the studio, and we still have the top officials of the Edo Operations of NEMA here. Any other area you want to ask them?
Well, I would have loved them to react to some of the questions or maybe comments you heard from some of the callers before we move forward.
Okay. This issue of having a culture of sanitation, of neatness, is what we need to drum into our people. It's common that you see people, they're in a vehicle, and in those days they used to say every vehicle should have a trash can. Mm-hmm. I don't think they have trash cans anymore.
Some have, but in spite of that, the driver will close it up.
The driver will close it up.
It's
just here for formality.
Yeah, formality. So somebody drinks a bottle of Coke next to it, tosses out the window. It's a natural thing.
Now that people are also eating corn, they just finish eating corn.
Tossing out the window. You don't see anything wrong with it. I don't know how we're going to reorientate our people on this taking care of the environment. It's your environment. That what you throw out as trash will affect you indirectly.
Okay, let's speak to right of ways. You've spoken about people who build on right of ways, but someone called and mentioned, I think you also alluded to it, high tension wire where people shade their markets, and that's an emergency waiting to a disaster waiting to happen.
Yes, and unfortunately, and there are laws, like Honourable said, there are laws for this. You don't build on the high tension. There are existing laws. You don't build on the high tension. It's a risk, but people are allowed to do that. And like I said, maybe it's corruption because somebody has collected money somewhere and they allow you build. I don't know how we're going to go around this because
these are all the man-made factors. And for me, the man-made is supposed to be the easiest of all. But within the Nigerian context, it even seems to be the most difficult.
We hardly have natural disaster at large magnitude scale, like having Venezuela.
I mean, what is happening in Venezuela?
If it happens here, God help us. We have been lucky that we don't have natural disasters. Like even when last did we have a plane crash? It was Dana, I think, long ago. So we have been lucky we don't have natural disasters, but this man-made thing is man-made disaster is most probably.
And that is where orientation comes in.
Orientation needs to come in. That's why sensitization needs to be increased.
I want to say something about this. The political will is very important. That enforcement would go a long way to sanitize the society. From either building on the waterway and ordering that the building should be demolished, it sends a message to others who will try it. Then environmental sanitation, when the government provides these waste bin along the road, there should be people along the road. If you go to Calabar, Cross River State, you don't throw those things about. You go to Lagos, though they have these issues there, but the enforcement of law that the government has established, they obey. So by the time they arrest people and try them in the mobile court and sentence them, when others hear about that, they will change their attitude. Though attitude is a long-term something for people to deviate from, but gradually they will learn from this.
Okay,
thank you.
One or two more calls and we'll call it a wrap.
All right. Hello.
Good morning once again.
Good morning to you. Welcome.
Ultimate Great Online. Yes, fraud must occur as far as land. You must show this, but the progress we don't plan ahead. Like in my own town, in Ethiopia, Surudo town, we are making it a law mandatory. If you build a house and your compound, people cannot come out from their compound outside. You must dig a pit. You call it to me. It's a mandatory, and people are set out to go around, move around every day to watch. What you would have defeated from the law, and you pay dearly for it. And that's easy to control flooding coming from a house to destroy other people's property. That's in Nigeria right now. We all this thing now. I can say that many of us are cause of this flood disaster. How can you go and build a house on the waterway? Water must find itself and flow, and people are told the government are not even helping. You see people build on water channel, you leave them. Huh? What's one for?
They should do it. Any place that do a house in Kenya, that house must be demolished. Huh? And people are carrying their electricity into the gutter, into the energy. How can it block it? After we are complaining. We are the one concerning by ourselves. That's my own this morning.
Thank you very much. Let's squeeze in the last call this morning and we're done. Hello.
My contact.
Okay, quickly, Mr. Abiama, 30 seconds.
Okay, if you pick an object from the roadside, and you walk almost 2 kilometers without seeing any dump site, what do you do?
You sit through where I'm
The next thing is the short but if you put something just about maybe 2 or 5 meters ahead, you say don't tell you just put it inside there. But when you don't see it, you just throw it away. So it's just the same thing. So let government provide all these things so that people will not complain, government will not complain, and I think that will be better for us. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much. And we've got a message here asking a question. This one says, good topic. Why is DOSEMA lacking legislative backing? What is stopping the Edo State House of Assembly from offering the legal backing?
They are not here to respond.
They are not here to respond.
But I'm aware that
So we won't shake their heads in their absence.
when they come, they will answer that.
But you are aware?
I'm aware that they are. It's in process. Okay. They have written something and sent to Parliament.
Okay. To the House of Assembly.
Yes.
All right, and that's our show for this morning, man. Thanks to you all. Paul Ochonogo is my name. I'm in the Honourable Benga James, and our head of news and current affairs, Israel Adebi. And to our guest this morning, Mr. Kenoma Ojuedeire, the head of NEMA Benin Operations Office. Thank you for joining us this morning. I appreciate you. The rest of the breakfast show continues shortly, and we're back again on Monday morning, bright and early from 9 up to this time.